Do you ever wonder if people in other countries celebrate Christmas in the same way that you do? In this video, I'm going to talk about how Filipinos celebrate their Christmas season and how it compares to how the Spanish people do it. Hola, this is Alex. I've been living in Madrid for a few years now, and it's been fascinating to see the many similarities and differences between the Philippines and Spain, and this includes how we celebrate the holiday season. We Filipinos have picked up some traditions from the time that we were a Spanish colony, but of course we have some that we consider our very own. So here's a little comparison of how the holidays are celebrated in both countries, and let's start off with how long the celebrations last. Filipinos are a bit crazy about Christmas. It is said that when the Ber months begin, that means months ending in BER, that means September in this case, then it's time to start celebrating it. This means that when September 1 rolls around, you'll start hearing Christmas carols in the mall. Also, some people start putting up their Christmas decorations, and some even start organizing their Christmas tree. Also, Christmas parties start very early in the Philippines, sometimes as early as December 1st. In fact, I remember many years ago that one of the first Christmas parties I attended was on the last week of November. The holiday ends after the first Sunday of the year, which is now when the Philippines celebrates the Feast of the Epiphany or the Feast of the Three Kings. That's the only time people put down their Christmas decorations, and this means that the celebration lasts for 4 months. Here in Spain, you start seeing Christmas lights in late November, and this is definitely a shorter time frame than the festivities in the Philippines. Here, the season also ends after the Feast of the Three Kings, or as they call it here, Reyes Magos, but here in Spain, they celebrate it on January 6th of every year. Both countries like putting up Christmas lights. In the Philippines, you see a lot of what we call parols or Christmas stars, and here in Madrid, you see a lot of Christmas trees that are lit up all over the city. In terms of Christmas decorations, one other thing the countries have in common is the Belen or the nativity scene. This is traditionally the Holy Family, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, surrounded by farm animals, and sometimes with shepherds, the three wise men, and angels as visitors. The Belen can be found at home, but sometimes you can also find them in public, and these are the bigger versions. In terms of Christmas meals, both Spain and the Philippines have Noche Buena, which is celebrated with the family. In fact, the same exact term is used in both countries to mean the meal on Christmas Eve. Also, family lunch on Christmas Day, December 25th, is commonly observed in both countries as well. One difference that I noted is when Christmas gifts are given. In the Philippines, we have Santa Claus who comes on Christmas Eve, and we open the gifts either on Christmas Eve at midnight or on Christmas Day. We get this tradition from the Americans who colonized us after the Spanish did. Santa Claus usually leaves the gifts in stockings which the people put up, or sometimes he just leaves it under the Christmas tree. In Spain, however, the big day for gift giving is the Feast of the Three Kings or Reyes Magos. The three kings leave their gifts on top of shoes that people have laid out the night before. Speaking of gifts, another thing that I found interesting is their concept of Amigo Invisible or Invisible Friend. It's their version of our Kris Kringle, where you pick out a name of someone and then give them a gift during the Christmas party. In Kris Kringle, you eventually find out who gave you your gift because it's not really a secret. But in Invisible Friend or Amigo Invisible, you don't find out who gave you the gift. It's a secret. It's a mystery until the very end. So if the person who drew your name doesn't really like you, you are in danger of getting a not so nice gift because you'll never find out who gave you that gift exactly. I mean, eventually you could do some research, but it's not a must to reveal your identity. Now let's talk about holiday food. One thing the two countries have in common is that we both have ham when we celebrate the holiday season. However, the ham in the Philippines is usually prepared like in a sweetish way because there's some sugar sometimes on the ham. I think maybe some Spanish people would find this concept of sweet ham a little bit strange. You can also find chestnuts called castañas in both countries, widely available during the Christmas season. Another very traditional thing to have on the Filipino dining table during Christmas is the queso de bola, which is very red. Whereas in Spain, there are a lot of holiday sweets, including turon and polvoron. As I mentioned, the Feast of the Three Kings is a very big deal here in Spain, and not just because that's when they give the gifts. There's also a parade of the Three Kings called Cabalgata, where they rain candy on children. During the Cabalgata, people often bring ladders so that the children can step on them and see the Three Kings as they pass by. They sometimes also bring umbrellas so as to avoid the rain of candy that the wise men will shower upon everyone. Another thing worth mentioning is the King's Cake or Roscon de Reyes, a cake shaped like a crown. It's a delicious cake filled with cream and it has candied fruit on top. There's a little figurine hidden inside the cake, and if you're the one who bites into this little figurine, then it's considered that you will have good luck for the whole year. I hope it's true because look, I got the figurine from a Roscon de Reyes. Roscon de Reyes is usually available during the whole Christmas season, but some very traditional people insist on eating it just on the Feast of the Three Kings. One other tradition that they have here in Spain that we don't have in the Philippines is the Christmas lottery. It's held every 22nd of December and it's considered the world's largest lottery for the total amount that it gives out, which is more than $2 billion. 2 billion euros. That's why the lottery is also known as El Gordo or the Fat One, because the price is just so big. Tickets usually cost 20 euros each, and it's a common tradition for friends and family or even workmates to chip in and buy shares of a ticket together. So for the very first time, I bought a ticket this year. Look, I'm showing you the ticket because I didn't win. If I won, maybe I wouldn't be showing you this ticket. As for New Year's celebrations, New Year's Eve is called Noche Vieja here in Spain, while it's called Medianoche in the Philippines. One thing that's a bit similar is the concept of having round fruits on New Year's Eve. In the Philippines, though, the concept is we're going to have 12 different kinds of round fruits on the New Year's Eve feast. This is a bit of a challenge. It's kind of hard to find 12 different kinds of round fruits. So sometimes it doesn't reach 12, but we do our best. The 12 kinds of round fruit are supposed to symbolize luck for each month of the year. In Spain, the tradition is to eat the 12 grapes when the clock strikes 12. You are supposed to finish eating all 12 by the time the clock finishes its 12th toll. It's actually harder than it sounds. I've done it a few times and I always end up with cheeks full of unswallowed grapes, so I don't know if maybe that's why I haven't been having a lot of luck. What are your favorite Christmas holiday traditions? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, ciao chicos!